Hello, everybody. Welcome to Today in the Pink Room. Today in the Pink Room, I'm going to show you guys how I put trim on my shoes. Okay, that's what we're going to do today. Before I get started, I would like to do the prayer card of the day. And today's prayer card will be coming from the book of Proverbs 12, verse 20. Those who promote peace have joy. Once again, that is from the book of Proverbs 12, verse 20. Okay, now let's go. Oh, just in case you're wondering what these are what I call Farmer Jack bags. Now, everybody who knows that Farmer Jack's has been out of business for years. But we all have a ton of these in our house. And I still call them Farmer Jack bags, even though I know Farmer Jack's is no longer in existence. But they're going to always be Farmer Jack bags to me. Anyway, this is what I'm doing today. I'm putting trim around my Crocs. What I meant to say was that it is part of my design. I am using, y'all don't judge me, I got to get some more glue. I have some more, but I'm using every ounce of this. Excuse me, I'm using Treasure Bomb, and this is one of my favorites. I have other glues that I use, but this is just like one of my all-time favorites. You can find her on Instagram. I'll let you guys know where to find her. Oh, and you know what? I did end up putting the patches on before I put the trim on. I always do that. And this is the glue that I use. I use Loctite super glue to put the glue on. To put the patches on. And I will give you guys an affiliate link. I'll give you the link where I get this from Amazon. I use Loctite, and I also use this Loctite super glue. I only use these for the patches though. And I use, like I said, Treasure Bond for the stones. So, first thing is first. First thing I do is I measure. Okay, as I was saying, I measure the trim. Once I measure the trim and get the correct size, then I will apply the glue. I'm working on not being so heavy-handed with the glue. Once I put the glue on, I attach the trim. I have to ensure that the trim is straight. This trim was very intimidating to me when I first started doing Crocs, but now I'm a lot better at applying the trim. So once I complete one section, then I'll go to the next section and I will measure that. I'll just repeat the process. Well, I always want to ensure that my trim is straight. Then I'll measure the top portion. Then I'll go ahead on and cut that. Apply the glue again. And then apply the trim. And once I finish applying the trim all the way around, I just double check it to make sure that it's straight all the way around. I pat it, just pat it down gently to make sure that everything is straight and in order. Okay, now it's time for the next shoe. And basically, I just repeat the same process that I did with the first shoe. Just go around and measure. And I always want to make sure that it's long enough. Sometimes I cut it just a little bit longer. I would rather it be a little bit too long than too short. Now, on this one, I kind of noticed that one of the stones looked like it was a little bit loose. So you see me cutting that off. I always check the trim just to make sure that none of the stones are loose or seems like, it might be some missing. So I always check. So I noticed that the little piece that I cut off down there, I noticed that it looks like one of the stones was just a little bit loose. So I kind of cut that off. Now I'm putting the glue down. I'm going to go around the same way I did before, but because I cut that little piece off, I'm going to just lay that down, and then I'm going to have to measure it again because I cut that piece off. And I will examine the next, the next piece of trim just to make sure that it's nothing loose on that one. But once again, I'm going around with the glue, and then I'm going to measure again because I cut that piece off with the stones that were loose. It's always a good idea to check your trim before putting it on because, like I said earlier, sometimes you get loose stones, sometimes you get damaged. Every once in a while you might get a some trim that may be damaged, or some of the stones may be discolored. And what you don't want to do is apply it and then you'll notice it later, and then you'll have to, take the trim off and start all over again. That can be a big headache. So now, like I said, I'm just making sure that all of the trim is straight, and then I'm going to just repeat the process. I'll start all over and do the same thing I did with the other shoe. Once I'm done applying the trim, then I will go to the next step. And excuse me, please. The next step will be applying the stones. Okay, like I said previously, once I finish with the trim, then I will be applying the stones. Now, as crafters, we often change our mind. So, sometimes you change your design 1, 2, 3, maybe even 4 times. But this shoe is going to be easy because I already have a design in mind. I won't be changing it. Actually, I'll be changing it just a little. I did a pair for her daughter for her Christmas gift, and hers is going to be very close to her daughter's, but not identical because my motto is just like a snowflake, no two are the same. But I will be back, and I will be sharing with you the finished product. And I think I might even go on a journey of showing you guys how I put the stones on, what method they have several methods that you can do to apply the stones. I myself prefer the honeycomb method. So my next video, I'll probably be showing you guys how I apply the stones using the honeycomb method. Thank you so much for watching, and I hope something that I did on here was a little bit helpful for you and can make things easier.